Good evening and welcome to our video project video. This is our video project on the Civil Rights Movement. My name is Laura and here with me today as well are Jill and Grace. To begin this video project, we are going to explain the act of civil disobedience that we have chosen to present to you. First, we are going to share that we have chosen the Civil Rights Movement as a topic for civil disobedience to create a new symbol. The Civil Rights Movement focused on the separation of Americans and African Americans to the fight of desegregation. While completing this project, we had to focus on the symbols that were used to try and find another symbol to describe this particular civil disobedience. To start, we will define civil disobedience and patriotic symbols. Civil disobedience is the refusal to comply with certain laws or to pay taxes and fines as a peaceful form of political protest. This was done largely during the Civil Rights Movement with things like refusing to move seats, speeches, and marches around the U.S.
Today we see so many different forms of civil disobedience. One that's recent is the Dakota Access Pipeline protests. People have been gathering to stop this pipeline from going and being installed over a reservation. There's also been many women's marches all over America and other protests throughout the United States.
The first symbol that we discussed was the shaking hands with one side black and one side white. This symbol was created to show the peace between Americans and African Americans. The symbol was a big part of the Civil Rights Movement as African Americans wanted to create peace with the Americans. Another symbol to take note of during the Civil Rights Movement was the raised clenched fist. This symbol is used to show solidarity and support, which is what was used by the Black Panther Party as a symbol to show their resistance. The key people in the Civil Rights Movement would include, but are not limited to, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X. Martin Luther King Jr. was a key figure because he was the one who spoke out against the arrest of Rosa Parks and wrote his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." Rosa Parks was also a very large part in the Civil Rights Movement when she refuses to give up her seat on the bus. She refused to give up her seat to a white male who said she was in his seat in the white-only section. Malcolm X was another key figure because he fought for the rights of African Americans even if it resulted in violence at some point. He differed from Martin Luther King in the sense that he believed in violence. And although civil disobedience is about nonviolent acts, we think that it is very important to note that this movement wasn't always about peaceful protesting. Brown versus Board of Education happened during this time as well because it was the end to segregation in the public school systems. People that fought for this desegregation in the schools were people such as teachers, secretaries, welders, ministers, and students. When people think of Brown versus Board of Education, they often remember a little girl's parents that sued the school so their daughter could attend a public school. But it is so much more than that, and you will find that out later. An example of a patriotic activity could be something like a march. Marches took place during the Civil Rights Movement, with a prime example being the Selma to Montgomery March. Protesters had marched for 3 days until they had reached Montgomery, getting what they wanted in the end. Marches still happen today around the world, as you heard earlier, and are still evident in civil disobedience.
This is the symbol that our group created. It was our own vision of representing the civil rights movement. The top portion of our peace symbol is black to represent African American lives, while the bottom portion is white to represent white lives. And we showed that they can blur together to join as one, and obviously our symbol is better together to show that they could come together and work as one.
This is what our symbol would have looked like on the front of a Time magazine cover.
Thanks for watching!